Hey guys, Simple here and welcome back to another Minecraft video. Today I'll be showing you some build ideas I've got for the new Copper Age update which came out a couple of days ago, which added the copper golems and the new shelf blocks, so I'll line them up with that. And the new shelf blocks are like thicker trapdoors, kind of vertical slabs, some people are saying, I don't know. You can also put items in them, which is really useful. And also, you can see they are the kind of the same size as trapdoors, like on one side, but they do stick out, which makes them a bit thicker and really good for like rounded stuff out. And also, if you come around the back, you can see that there is patterns on each one, which are useful for adding designs to walls if you have stripped logs. Now, this first design I want to show you uses quite a couple of things. First of all, I used the shelf as a railing block by here for a bar. And by here, I've used the shelves with potions in them to create bottles. And the back of the dark oak shelf creates for a nice little wall trim, especially with with the bottles. Here, I've used a little bar stool design using the dark oak shelf and the waxed exposed lightning rod, which is new as well in this update. And I think that looks really nice. Now this is like maybe the wall of a church or something. I've used quite a bit by yours again. I've used the jungle shelves as a railing on the stairs, which looks nice. I've used the new copper bars with scaffolding behind them as a window design. And if we come to the top, I've used the copper golem statues sitting down. Hold on, let me grab the normal one. You can see normally it's like this, but if you just click it, it sits down. And then, you can line that up and make a roof with them, which looks really nice. And also on the top, I've got one which is like, kind of like gargoyle statue on the top, which looks nice. And also, if you really wanted to, you could, extend the roof back with stairs like this. And it would look quite nice because you wouldn't really want to use copper golems all the way through. Now this next build is kind of like a wall design. I've used the shelves on the side to make like kind of like a wall trim, and I've also used the oak shelves as a shutter. I've used ladders up here because if I were to use shelves, it would just the pale oak, and I've also used spruce shelves to line up the door with that, which rounds it out, and I think it looks quite nice, better than trapdoors at least. Now next by here, I've got this grandfather clock design, which uses the dark oak shelves and the new copper chains and exposed lightning rod, which I think looks nice. And I've also, I accidentally clicked that out. Hold on, let me grab that. I've used a gold block around the edges. I've also used, I did the same thing again. Hold on. I've used dark oak doors around the edges, then place them on the back, just to create kind of like a design on it all going around. Here's a little podium design I made using pale oak shelves with light blue stained glass panes on it, which creates like kind of like a line on it. And also I've got the copper golem statue on top. Now here is a pool table design I made using also obviously the dark oak shelves going around. I've put some items in there with copper golem statues sticking out to be kind of like blue and orange balls. Also you can see that from the items on the side as well to match up with them, which stick out like a really good amount because normally they only stick out like on a normal pose. You can see the actual stem of a lightning rod sticks out, which doesn't look good. But if you make them sit down, it is only the ball and it looks really good. And also, I've used lecterns because I'm on Bedrock Edition, for the actual queue. Because normally, if I use a sign, on Java Edition this would work, but on Bedrock the sign is too short. So yeah, that looks a lot better on Bedrock Edition. And going around, I've got some items, just like, sticks, and also there's new dye textures in this update. And yeah, that's pretty much it for this build. But also you can see I messed one up there, but I've got grey stained glass prints on the edges. Here is a archway design I made, which uses the trapdoors which go into the shelves, which then go into the trapdoors and stairs at the top. And I've also used them at the bottom to create like kind of like a base foundation sort of thing, which actually look quite nice. And also I've indented the one in the middle back of it. And you can also just make a pillar normally by putting it at the top or the bottom with any block really. Now here are two slot machine designs I made. and I've seen some other people using pretty much the same design as this too. But you can use banners to create numbers and letters on the thing. I've used a paint timber there. You could also use an item frame. They have new lightning rods work really well for this. And yeah, so an item frame would work well too. But you can use pretty much any painting design. I prefer to use ones which actually match with the glazed terracotta, but it's up to you really. Now, here is a little kind of candlestick design I made, which just is a lightning rod with a candle on top. If you go upside down, you can also make it like that as well with a thicker base at the bottom, and then it goes thin as it goes up. Now here is a circle design I made, which are really nice for windows because the shelves have kind of like a round design. It works really well. It's just, it would be a bit better if we could have some sort of horizontal shelf. But it actually looks really nice for stained glass windows or just round windows in general. And here is a garage door design I made, which uses the pale oak and mangrove shelves, which, you could use any colour. I just think mangrove or acacia looks best at the bottom. I've used levers or tripwires as like hooks and iron bars in the middle, which looks nice. And also, if you have like an old plant area in your garden, you can, under a moss carpet, you can put a copper golem statue of any oxidization really, and it looks like a sprinkler coming out. You can do anything you want and it'll look pretty good. I just prefer to have the actual lightning rod coming out a bit, but yeah, it's up to you really. Now here is a lantern design I made, which uses a lightning rod which goes up into the lantern, or you can use the bottom of a lightning rod to make a thicker base. And you can also add a base to bookshelves using the new shelves, which is really nice. It's just adds a bit of depth, and also you can put books inside of the shelf if you really want to, and this just adds a bit of extra storage to build while it still looks pretty nice, which I think is good. Now here are some weapon designs I made. Now I used the copper golem statues to hold them up, and by here I've used a lightning rod and a chain to make a sort of katana sword design, which looks nice. And here I've used the normal lightning rods and the new copper chains to create nunchucks. And by here, a design you could do originally, I've used end rods and chains, but also the copper golem to hold it up. Now here are some wall designs. By here I've used the dark oak shelf as a base block for it, which, it doesn't actually stick out. The only downside is from the back it's see-through. But by here I've used redstone powered shelves to get rid of the lines in between them. You can see there it is. And this adds a bit of depth to it and a bit of shape. And here is like a door design. I've used the dark oak shelves as a base, but I've used banners to create a sign above the door. And also you could use roof shelves for this wall design as well. Both of them look pretty good. I just chose to use dark oak, but it's up to you again. And also, it's the door, obviously. But if you enjoyed this video, make sure to like and subscribe, and comment for any new ideas. Bye.